Hello, welcome to JadeKind Gaming. My name is Adam, and today I will be unboxing the Bones 6 Core Set. I got this months ago. I got this and quite a few other sets from Bones 6 Kickstarter. I think the end of last year. But since backing it, I had a house flood that caused me to rearrange my entire living and gaming space, and got married, so invited Beth in with her things, and that caused, along with it all, just different priorities and how the space was rearranged. And one of the things that I lost in that is I used to have a dedicated table that I just kind of kept paints and brushes, and I could just sit down and paint miniatures. And I don't have that anymore. And someday I hope to get it back. So I'm still glad that I have this. But it's a lot of effort if I just want to sit down and paint a miniature nowadays. So I didn't get around to opening up the box or any of the others. And now they've been sitting there for half a year. So I'm like, you know what? I should at least take a look, share with you, because, obviously you can try and find the sets secondhand, but really it's just taking a look at what miniatures Reaper is going to be putting out, on their web store or through their other sales channels. As we get them in the crowdfunder, and then they, of course, release them all, usually as individuals or small sets. But this is the Bones 6 Core Set, which was crowdfunded in April of 2022. Perfect for role-playing, gaming, painting, and collecting. The core set contains over 100 highly detailed plastic Bones black miniatures, ready to paint or play with right out of the box. And that's just a version of Bones. I know, I don't know if any of the ones in this set are, but I know some of the Bones miniatures that were done in this crowdfunder are done using a bit of a different process. So some of them are not quite as resilient, a little more brittle. Basically just means to me I have to throw them around less. Okay, so there are bags that contain miniatures, and there's a lot. So no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just gonna start here. Let's zoom in. There we go. They're gorgeous little. It makes me kind of sad that I don't have the ability to paint them right now. Not that I was very quick with getting around to painting them before, but some of them are colored. I don't know why. That looks like a salamander, which would be red. Very, what is that? Conan Barbarian? Very nice. And they're all, of course, scaled for, D&D compared to whatever WizKids Mini. I guess maybe he's a little more heroic of a scale, but whatever. Put them down on the table. They'll work. Another dwarf. We've got a couple dwarves in this little bag. So maybe I'll probably at least keep the larger bags grouped together, because that seems like maybe there's some sense of the groups within them. So I gotta try and keep things organized so that when the day comes that I can paint again, it's not too much work. That's a fun helmet. It's a wild and crazy helmet, with it being like the pyramid pointy helmet thing, but that's fun. spellcaster there. Warrior, barbarian type fella. And then this bag also contained this complex one that I will have to stuck. Okay. So this one has a clear base, and just like the base feels like a hard, like this has a little give to it. The base feels like it's a harder material. The base has a little slot in it to put a flight stand to support this B, I'm gonna call it. It's a bee that's riding a bigger bee. It's a bee that's riding a bigger bee. Okay. So, the little bee on top has I can't get it in because it's so fiddly and tiny. I just kind of hold it there. But he has the little arms that hold a lance and a shield. And then the bigger bee has the transparent wings because it's flying. But that's adorable. It's a little bitty bee that's riding a bigger bee. Our next bag here, which also contains some more of the red ones, but oh, that's fun. More just normal animals. And again, this one, it doesn't, it feels like a harder plastic. It doesn't feel quite as flexible as bones have been in the past. So a little more brittle, but still, I mean, it gets great detail. There's a little dog. There's Sophie, their mascot. I think very clearly the wings are done as a separate bit, but for some reason on some of them, like this, they come glued together. Yeah, definitely looks like a separate seam there. But she's got a little mask in her hand. And this looks like maybe her again. Only very different dress here. It looks like it's like an armored dress. That looks like plate armor on a dress. I can see my wife liking that. Almost the fact of like, I'm like wondering like, okay, is my wife gonna want to play that, but not as a creature with wings, that I should try and remove the wings at some point, modify the sculpt so it's just like a human or elf that has an armored dress. I don't know. But this also has sort of almost Victorian-esque kind of look. A lamp post. Dressing is great. Actually, part of me's like, when they put these in, sale, assuming they're not yet, are they only going to be sold as a set because they were in that bag together? If so, I'm a little sad because I could do with, a dozen of these, making a Dwarven Forge street layout. Carry on. We got Archer, Ranger figure. The cloaks always look so great. Got maybe sailor or pirate looking lady here. Got, based on that hat, pirate dude, heavy leather armor, 2 swords. Yeah, so whoever this is, she's standing beside a gravestone. Quite a few weapons. Big backpack on this guy. Sword kind of bent. I think the hot water probably will still work to fix them. And this bag has 5 to be identical little ants. These are, you know, large ants as they fill a 1-inch space. And then, if you thought those were large ants, oh, I'll show you another. There it is. We have this base that, you know, basically 1.5 by 1.5 inches for this ant. Okay, so you would have to probably bend his legs in to get him to stand on this base, because his legs go out wider and there are posts on the ends of his feet. So you would, I guess, be bending his legs in to fit him onto that base. But this is a bigger ant, and like the bee before, yeah, has transparent wings. That's like the ant queen or something. Haha. We got our third of these bags. And each bag has some things in bags, maybe some in not in bags. This looks like a little egg, maybe an egg in the process of hatching. Yeah, there's a little hand reaching out. Oh, it's an owl bear. It's a baby owl bear. So cute. We got a little, I forget what they're called, but unicorn bunny. And as cute as it is, it just makes me think, I have a few miniatures for unicorn bunnies. I don't know if I have any for non-unicorn bunnies. Do I need to modify this to just a normal bunny? Get more, what was that red miniature? That was the salamander before. Looks like another salamander here. Like a shell for a shield. Its tail wrapped around there. This, same, I think it's supposed to be same species, just more triangular for some reason. I don't know, it's got a staff, so maybe it's modified as a mage. Same tail, so yeah, weird salamander druid. The red is actually harder to see the detail on. Oh well, they'll all get painted and the color won't matter. And here's another with kind of a flame pattern in the shield. Of course, you know, matches up with it being salamanders and then being fire newts. It's a little bent. We get wolves. And these are each different. Okay, so a set of wolves here, which are, they fit within 1 by 2 inch, smaller than that a bit, but yeah. Couple prowling hunting wolves there. This one howling. Ow! A little shorter. And then I'm gonna go with dire wolf. Still fits within a 1 by 2, but definitely on a larger base. So, bigger, meaner. And the last one from this bag looked like it was in several pieces. Yeah, although not too bad. So, base for feet to attach. And some of these seem sturdier than in the past, and things like getting those feet to match, it's not necessarily as easy. And obvious, so I'm gonna wait and do it once I'm actually gonna be finalizing attachments. You know, gluing it in place, in other words. The arms, where they only have to match on one side, seems still to work fine. We have whatever, it's like cross on that one, and this arm. Gotta look at the shapes. This one's holding this sort of sword with like a pot-marked blade, like a bone at the end. Weird troll face belt buckle and sort of troll looking Aten. But yeah, big. The base is a 2 by 2, so yeah, for this to ever fit, I guess I'm gonna have to hope that, like, with the hot water it will still make it enough malleable. Because I'm pretty sure that one of these legs just went in slightly, and so it doesn't exactly match up, because it fits clearly on one foot or on the other, but they just don't line up quite together for it to fit on that base. So yeah, it's obviously I could just cut off the peg parts and just glue them together, and that would work, but it's designed to make it easier than that, but it's not working. All right, bag number 4. Oh, everything's in bags here. Let's start checking them out. Okay. Oh, another one of the barbarian guys here. This guy with a sword and an axe. And this one, sort of king barbarian with armor and raising his sword to the sky and a cape, but still same general vibes. We got another of the salamanders, a little flame shield. We got sort of oh, I feel like they're supposed to be smaller, but maybe not. It's a rust monster, a giant bug thing, but yeah, keep your armor away from this one. Oh, I'm gonna call that an Aarakocra. Useful to have miniatures of. Could be sort of caster. It looks like it has a staff. We got another one. I'm going to call this one a ranger with the bow and the sword and the funny hat. But yeah, a couple bird people. Then, bag that contains... see it. Merilith? Oh, see, this goes onto this base easy enough. And then, yeah, you know, whatever the base, inch by inch, snake, back end, multi-armed, and a creature that I needed in the game not too long ago and had to just use one of my old Pathfinder pawns because I did not have a miniature for. Or apparently I did, it was just sitting unpainted in an unopened box. So it didn't do me any good. They're all different like swords, except this one's one of the punching daggers. Got bag 5. And it has quite a few that are not extra bagged, double bagged. This guy could be a wizard or wanderer. That's staff, druid. You get a tiefling. Tiefling, fancy hair. We get a skeletal creature with a skeletal dog. That's just fun. Not sure how useful, but fun. Long hair on this lady. Sort of putting her hand out. Ooh, okay. Maybe warg? Rodent of unusual size? Something. Got, Dracula. A caped and cloaked vampire. And he says, you. A couple that are in little bags. And they're sort of wanderer, maybe mage with the staff kind of figure. She, like a sword and a staff. So he's probably like, looks monk. Still a staff, but very different vibes on this one. Rogue. Get options for all sorts of player characters and NPCs. They just have to be painted. A bag that contains a few parts. Looks like... wings. Goes off. So a sort of dragon-mounted person with a lance. Yes, dragon jousting. That's a safe sport. Bag 6. I can just see immediately has a couple fun ones. Oh, okay. A couple useful ones that I didn't immediately see too. But I saw him from the start. And that is, you know, he's going to basically be a large-sized werebear. giant shield, giant axe, angry maw. And then this is the other one I saw before even getting it open, which is our aberration. And I can always do with a few more of these aberrations. At some point I want to do an adventure that involves a fair few of them. So kind of a beholder without the eye stalks. There was this abomination. It's a guy that has like a claw crab for one of his hands. Science experiment gone wrong. Called a chicken or rooster. And I'm going to call this a weasel or maybe a ferret. Very tiny, little familiar options. Very nice. Another abomination. This tendril arm. Yeah. Yeah, having a couple of them makes them where it could be fun little encounter. Here we go. There's could be a little fox or a cat. Quite sure. Ooh, there's a little guy. Cute little guy. Yeah, great fun having those. Here is goes a little sci-fi-ish. There is a gun and a whip that this fiend is wielding. Very fun action pose though. But as such it will not stay upright, so you will need to attach to a base. Sure, is he some sort of gnoll, hobgoblin, something, some creature? And the last one in this bag is another Sophie-esque figure sitting on a gravestone. Dressed rather elegantly. Got bag 7 here. Of course, there's no order of these bags really. I'm just grabbing them randomly. This one I grabbed. It's a fun thing there, but a few that are not pre-wrapped. We'll start with. Let's see. It's like holding bones, so maybe a hag or a witch. Especially backed up to the fact that there's a cauldron right here. That's fun. Oh, this is a evil cauldron specifically, so it's cauldron, fire below. But if you see in the shapes of the smoke are bones and skulls, so here is another sort of witch or hag, perhaps pouring something into the cauldron. Ooh. And an owl. Another good familiar option. We have another. Same vibes. Skulls. Actual witch's hat. Weird staff. So yeah. Get your full little coven there. This one in its little sub bag is actually all like hooked into the. There's a hole so that the bags don't hold air. And it's his harpoon went through it. And this guy looks like some sort of sailor. Adventuring sailor, because he's got all his stuff on his back, but like harpoon, and this feels like a mariner kind of hat. Oh. And sort of another sailor, pirate captain lady. Fun hat. We have a couple of identical mudmen. They're raising their arms up, and another couple also identical mudmen in another pose. So we have 4 mudmen across 2 different poses. Or ooze or wax or whatever you paint them to be like, but they're defaulting to this brownish color, so I say mud. And this is... They're doing so much more with color in this. This is fun, so... okay. Oh! Okay, you're going to paint most of this one, but leave a little bit of it not painted. I get it. So, this is a nightmare. It's got big wings, Pegasus wings, but it has flame texture for its mane, its tail, sort of wrapped around the base of it here at the ends of its feet. So almost like you could paint it all black, but leave the fiery mane like a nightmare. That's fun. Eighth bag. And a couple more. So, got sort of paladin lady. Big shield, big sword. And wanderer. Man, with the staff could be like a monk. Not a monk-like pose, but could be. Guard. Guard with a crossbow. Yep, that's a guard with a crossbow if I've ever seen one. Looks like he's got some guard friends. This one with a shield. This one points. You don't want that one around if you're trying to sneak, because he'll point you out. And then this one's got like a pole arm. Well, he can get you from farther. Farther than the guy with the sword and shield. Not as far away as the one with crossbow. That one can get you from much farther than this guy. But yeah, so he's just got whatever, some various crossbow. Okay, so we have 4. I'm guessing the next few bags are going to be the same. We have 4 of this sort of zombie woman. We got looks like 4 of this zombie guy. If you need some shambling undead, you know. Yeah. 4 of this zombie. Here it is. His jaw is just falling apart. Of course, you can just paint him with slightly different colored clothing when you go through, and then they'll all look kind of unique, even though there's a bunch with the same pose. And then, yeah, so I have 4 of this zombie guy. So yeah, so what is that? 8, 16 different, or 16 zombies across 4 poses. That's nice. Bag 9. Getting close. Got, let's say, gnome warrior. And gnome wizard with fun glasses. And a fun hat. This one, sort of a gnome miner. Well, he's got a shield and a mining pick. Those don't usually pair together. We got elf. You can see that ear pointing out there. Elf caster, maybe a cleric. Could be like a beam of light that he's holding in his hand. Could be a wizard. Some sort of elf. Got another gnome, or maybe even a dwarf, but I feel like that hat just says gnome to me. Sort of warrior. Gnome or halfling fighter. But not sure if that's tall enough. Is that going to be maybe a, could be a dwarf woman warrior? I feel like they've used that up arrow for dwarfs before. Like in the Bones 5 or something. A long time ago. What do we got? We got a dwarf with a cat. It's got like a little cat cage. And that is a wild, fun sculpt. We have sort of a adventurer woman with like a torch. Sort of crypt delver. And we have, I think it's a person on a chair. Ah! Sort of a skeleton that's on a chair. Ooh, that just seems like a fun start to an encounter. Would be nice if I also had the chair separate, so that I could take off a different skeleton, set it there, swap out the chair, and just have this as like a cool thing until they activate it. Because I got to do something to make this guy come alive, right? And one final bag of minis. Begins with maybe a dwarf? I don't know, whatever it is. He's angry at the sky. Oh, he's a dwarf, so yeah, probably was. A dwarf with a dwarf on the shield. Very dwarfy. Another of those gnome-looking ones. With a mace. Maybe a cleric. It's got a hammer and a book. She's got kind of plate armor on the top with kind of a dress. So like plate armor dress. Great style. I'm gonna have to paint some of these up. Alright. What is this? How does this? Here we go. With a detached arm. Okay. So wolf, or I don't really know what it is, because that's kind of like almost like a horse's tail. Kind of looks a little rat or wolf-like, but were creature of some sort. So fits in 1x2, so it could be a large. We have Sort of a winged cat. And okay, sort of like a wizard with a lot of spell effects. Magic wisps pouring out of his book. Billowing cape. Magic wisps up around his staff. Yeah. Alright, we have maybe a rogue. Very cloaked, holding a dagger. She's probably a rogue. One in several pieces. Let me get this guy put together. Okay. Not sure how the hands go on here. But he has two hands that are just giant spike balls. In other ways, he's like a totem stack of stones and maybe some bone? Golem of some sort. And the final figure. There's another chance for this. Yeah, gonna be the same issue as we had before on the other one, where we have this base, although this base sits flat. It looked almost like it was a little curved, but it has a base. And gets his arms. Again, some sort of golem-like creature. Stone and like roots. Maybe earth. Looks like some sort of creature raised from the ground. But the base that is on legs, and you can just kind of tell on this one, like this leg is bent in a little too much close to that one. So, but in general, very cool. So, that is the core set from Bones 6 Kickstarter. I have several more of these to do. I'll get them out over time, but I've at least begun the process of opening up the bones. I'm just putting them back into the box as I go because they're gonna kind of get put away. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get to actually paint any of them, but someday. And they are beautiful sculpts, so I do look forward to when that day comes. I'll link down to Reaper's website down below. Some of them may have already started being released as singles. Otherwise, gradually over time, they release all the figures. That's why they do the crowdfunder, is to make the molds so that they can produce them. So I'll link to their website where you can follow along to see what's coming out. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.